what if I held your books up? And
I was
held...
just thinking that.
Cool.
It'll trick people into thinking that we interrelate and actually talk outside of these videos.
Yeah, tricking people. Mostly I just trick people into liking me. Just kidding, nobody likes me. Hey, we're Southern California Comics Weekly Video Update. I'm Danny.
And this trick is Raph. Good to see you guys.
Yeah, Matt's not here once again, because he hates being here.
He's out tricking.
Whoa!
Hey, he's got to pay the bill somehow.
Anyway, yeah, Matt took the day off so he can work extra longer tomorrow, which is Free Comic Book Day, which is May 3rd?
May 3rd.
Tomorrow's May 3rd, tomorrow's Free Comic Book Day. It's Saturday.
Yeah.
We're going to have lots of amazing stuff.
Comic shops nationwide, especially this one, Southern California Comics in beautiful San Diego, California. We're going to have cotton candy, hot dogs.
A sale.
Free
comics.
Free comics. I think face painting for kids if you got any, or if you are one. And if you're watching this, did you get your parents' permission? I don't think so.
If you get a free comic, you can take it a couple buildings down to Society Brewing and get $1 off your beer or a free soda.
And again, if you're a kid, you can probably stack another kid on top of you, and the two of you can put on a trench coat and get $2 off your soda or beer at Society Brewing. Let's talk about some comics.
Yeah.
Speaking of trench coats.
Stuff came out this week. We're going to tell you about them.
So, we're going to do this a little unorthodox, as you might have noticed. We're going to start with this, and Danny's going to talk about it.
Yeah. Brand new Adventure Time annual number 1, I think.
Wow. Annual number 1, yeah.
2014. It's a 2014 annual. I think they had an annual last year as well. So they don't number their annuals anymore. It's just like 2014 annual. This one's great for many reasons. Many things notable about it. It's horizontal, so you read it like that.
Let's take a look at some of these.
Yeah.
Some of this wonderful art and writing.
It's got beautiful painted art by Becky Dryzat. I think that's how you say her name. It's by Becky and Frank, who are a team.
Dryzat and Frank Gibson.
Yeah,
they're great. Awesome.
We're kind of biased because they're friends, but
they're also
they're
talented. They're great.
Yeah, and it's okay. So we got that. We got cool people doing a vertical comic or horizontal comic.
You got it.
Whatever one that is, I forget. Space, they're not so good, but it's also about Fionna and Cake, the gender swapped Adventure Time duo, but also it's about Baby Cake. As in Baby Fionna and Baby Cake. So it's like cool stuff on top of cool stuff on top of cool stuff.
Oh, I thought you were talking about that King Cake in New Orleans, where they find Baby Fionna and Jake every year. And is this not a thing?
Oh, the little plastic baby in the cake.
No, all of our viewers in New Orleans, you know this is the thing, right?
Yeah, all the New Orleans fans of Southern California Comics.
Speaking of things that's a thing, I recommend this week, Padow, Batman 666 number 10, I believe it is.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, if you're familiar with Batman 66, I shouldn't have to explain it to you.
Oh.
Jeff Parker is writing it. Hit him up. David Sanchez, I believe. I'm sorry if I got the David Williams does the art on one of the stories.
Yeah.
There's a lead story about Mr. Freeze, and the great thing about this book, if you're familiar with it or if you're not, is that it's modeled directly after the 66 story. So they have the likenesses of the actors who played them. So you have Adam West Batman, Burt Ward Robin, and the God Otto Preminger reprising his role as Mr. Freeze. It's super good. There's also a backstory by Joelle Jones, I believe.
Joelle Jones is the artist.
Yes. Jeff Parker writes it all. Jeff Parker, who favorited the tweet on Twitter earlier today where I told him he gets it. Because he does.
He does get it.
It's just the truest to form it could possibly be for a comic. So if you want to read some fun, campy adventures, just a really great comic, period.
So good.
Check out Batman 66.
It's just a fun Batman comic.
It really is.
Batman comics are rarely fun these days.
Yeah, and speaking of things that are rarely fun these days, get it to them.
Oh, Spider-Man's always fun. But Spider-Man's back in a new number 1.
Back again?
Yes, for the first time.
Tell a friend?
He's not Slim Shady. He is Spider-Man. And yeah, Peter Parker is back. Previously it was Dr. Octopus inhabiting Peter Parker's body. I don't know what happened, but Superior Spider-Man ended with issue 31. Amazing Spider-Man number 1 is out. Peter Parker is back.
Humberto Ramos art, who is killing it.
Yeah, it's still your man Dan Slott writing it, so it's still pretty enjoyable. It's a pretty pricey comic at $6, but it's got a load of story stuff.
It does have some backstory, and it has some.
It has Inhuman number 1 in the back. You know,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they just threw in the new Inhuman series, the first issue in the back, just so you can check it out because they want you to check it out.
I wonder if this is the comics game of like that time Jay-Z sold his album to Samsung so he could come out of the gate with 1 million copies sold. Remember that?
I remember that.
Yeah. No, I was asking them. I know you remember that.
Well, they can't talk back.
That's fine. Speaking of talking back, what up? Atomic Robo, the latest series is out by my man Brian Clevenger, and I believe Scott Wagner still drawing it.
Oh, yeah.
Wagner, sorry. Yeah, this one is called
The Knights of the Golden Circle.
So if there's something you need to know about me, the few times you've seen, I've left subtle clues in my appearances to remind you that I love it when robots do things, when there are westerns, and when robots do things in westerns, and padow!
Combine them.
There it is. Nikola Tesla's only son out shooting things with laser guns. Do I really need to pitch this story to you any further?
Brand new number 1 of 5. You don't have to read any of the other Atomic Robos, but this is the 9th, the Atomic Robo series.
Yeah, it's a great series. It's a lot of fun. It really, literally is an all-ages comic. Brian Clevenger has beaten the internet by writing a comic way better than anything he ever did online. If you ever read Nuclear Powered or 8-Bit Theater, you know what I'm talking about. So get it. It's great. He's come a long way, baby.
It's like Hellboy for science.
He's got it.
Yeah.
He reads it.
Yep.
Summarize it.
Brand new from Vertigo, CMYK is a series, a quarterly anthology that they're doing. Each issue is themed after a color, CMYK, which is, you know, the colors in the printing process.
Like cyan, yellow.
Yeah, and the rest.
Magenta, and I don't know what that K is.
Killing them.
Killing them.
So yeah, it's 4 one-shots this year. Each one's full of brand new talent, some brand old talent.
Ooh,
Just like
Joe Keating.
Yeah, Joe Keating does a story in here with Ken Gehring. There's a Jock story.
Oh man.
Yeah.
You didn't tell me that.
Robert Rhodey, Fabio Moon, Chris Peter.
Your boy James Tinian IV, if you're into owls.
Like, these are generally pretty fun if you want to read a bunch of stuff at once. $8 for a whole slew of brand new original short stories.
Yeah, I mean that's about as cheap as digital comics. So, and why would you turn down? Vertigo has a long history of being pretty rad. So you're getting basically $8 comics in here by some of the top tier, and some people who will probably become top tier, who will become your new favorites.
Word.
And speaking of color theme stuff,
and favorites,
boom,
Southern Bastards.
Southern Bastards by the Jasons, Latour and Aaron. I got those reversed. Latour does the art, Aaron does the writing. Again, in the course of my appearances, I've left subtle clues that the most astute viewer can pick up on, like this one, that will let you know that I really love it when Southern guys do terrible things to one another. If you've never read Jason Aaron's Scalped, you should go back and do that. It is the greatest noir comic since Criminal, and you should read it. It's fantastic. It's a different viewpoint on a similar story, and it's just great. But we're talking about Southern Bastards right now.
So what's this about?
So what this is about is we have our man Earl Tubb, I believe his last name is. Yeah, right?
Is he the guy with the butt on the cover?
Sort of. That's his dad.
Oh.
So it's one of those comics. It starts off with a simple premise. A guy comes back to his old town to pack up his old house. It's a little bit different. It's not exactly what you expect why he's back, but it is mildly nostalgic, but incredibly prescient. A lot of violence, a lot of Southern Gothic influence in it. If you like Faulkner, if you like, help me out here.
Justified.
Thank you. If you like, I was going to call it Ernest Borgnine. If you like Ernest Hemingway, you'll get it.
Oh, I like Ernest Borgnine.
I like
this.
Yes, you will. Ernest Borgnine's blood is mixed into every issue. Even though I don't... No, he's dead. Sorry about that. But yes, I think so.
I think like almost.
If he's not, he
we're
probably
so close.
died the second I mentioned that he was still alive.
He was in Red.
Oh yeah, he was.
Yeah,
but
a few years ago, though.
but it's got fantastic art. It's one of those books that you can feel the sweat building up on the back of your neck. It's southern and deep fried as heck, but it's a total blast. It's got a good clip and a good pace to it. It's solid for. It's basically the first great chapter of a great southern novel. If you like Justified, if you like Walking Tall, both the 70s version or the rock version, you're gonna like this book. This is literally a character who carries a big stick.
How does he speak?
Very softly because he's dead.
Oh,
but,
that's a shame.
Yeah, he speaks on the wind, which is awesome, and you'll have to read the book to understand it. So pick it up. It's great. We got plenty of copies here when we see you here tomorrow for Southern Comics Day. Come find me, and I will point you to it.
Southern B-Boys. Now let's move on to the next thing.
Hey guys, it's Raph again. Here to talk to you about one of the many comics that you can find at tomorrow's free comic book day sale here at Southern California Comics. These very issues were pulled from the bin that way. I know you don't have any spatial awareness, but you'll see when you get here. These are several issues of Squadron Supreme by Mark Gruenwald and what's my man's name who drew this? I apologize. Bob Hall. Sorry about that, Bob Hall. So, Squadron Supreme is a miniseries based on some characters previously introduced in the Avengers in the 60s as the Squadron Sinister. They are a team of superheroes who are effectively echoing of the Justice League. They have their Superman analog, Hyperion. They have their Batman analog, Nighthawk, and etc., etc. This was written by Mark Gruenwald, who is one of the most beloved writers in comics. I believe shortly before his death, and I believe his ashes, editing can get me on this, that his ashes are mixed into, I believe, the trade paperback for it. What you need about Squadron Supreme is that it is Marvel's version of Watchmen, done almost better than Watchmen. It's not as subtle, and it's written by someone who actually likes superheroes, but it is a thorough process. Each issue is super thick. As you can see, they're easily 40 pages a pop. Full of story. Bob Hall's art is fantastic. There's a lot going on here. It's one of those books where it's a true team book in that every character gets to shine. They get not only to shine, like I previously said, but they get their sense of due and entitlement, and you never leave a book feeling like a character's actions aren't motivated by themselves. It's definitely takes some getting used to because I'd forgotten how they wrote comics in the 80s, but the important thing is it's very much a book that embraces sequential art. A lot of it leads to resonating. A lot of the art and cues are taken directly just from the way that things are done. And really, what can I say is it's on a bunch of best of lists. You should read it, and you should read these copies, which I'm going to put back in the box for you at Free Comic Book Day. So I'll see you tomorrow, and see you reading Squadron Supreme. Bye!
Whoa, cool. That was cool. What'd you do?
Oh,
Did
nothing.
you talk about anything cool?
No.
Oh,
I talked about something supreme.
like a taco or a burrito?
Sure. A Squadron Supreme.
I don't understand what that means, but we'll see you tomorrow at Free Comic Book Day.
See you tomorrow at Free Comic Book Day.
And if you're watching this on a day past Free Comic Book Day, buy a time machine.
Should have seen you back then.
Yeah.
Free Comic Book Day.
Or-
And I'll see you right now.
Yes.
Da, 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 da.
Wait, you only have to do the music. We have our own music.
You're kidding me. Why have you let me do it for years and years and years? You didn't think to tell me we had our own music? You didn't tell me we had a yak back? You let me just do the sound effects?
Yeah, it's like yakety sax. It plays.
I'm leaving and I'm not coming back until next week. Film your own podcast.
We'll see you next week, too, hopefully.
Da, 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 da.
Damn it!